you stumble, use the pain to walk the road that feels right. This year is 2021. The sum of these numbers is 5. In ancient wisdom, 5 means change. 5 is in the middle of 1 and 10, the beginning and end. In a way, energetically, the world is at midlife, like a man or woman in a midlife crisis. The world has experienced it all. It has reached its heights in technological development, wealth generation, and show of power, while creating upheavals that brought physical, mental, emotional, and financial crisis. There is imbalance in all areas of life. Hi, I'm Pilma, a writer, poet, organizational psychologist, and change coach. In this podcast, we talk about appreciating the midlife crisis as an individual and global experience and how to swim through it in our personal life. We have long lived with injustice and chaos, whether in family life, social, or work life. Couples are divorced or separated, physically or emotionally. The state of the family is replicated in the state of the nation and the world, attacking each other not just as nations, but as individuals. The way technology invades our individual privacy is the way we snoop into another individual's life. For many, there is a desire for change, consciously or unconsciously. I remember the duality in my own life when I questioned the way I dealt with work. On the other hand, nourishing a spiritual life, I desired a balance between the material and spiritual life. So, when all these are happening, you are not being punished. It is because you are called. How do you know that you're already called? When you are longing for the divine, you are in grief. You have what you wanted but are still unhappy. You are rich but feel empty. You love but keep encountering betrayal. You have given your best but nothing works or lasts. What you do holds no more meaning. When you have just experienced a form of failure, when you are like a walking bum, when your life is like the end of a road, when you want change. But there is a lot of denial amidst this turmoil. Facebook is an avenue for that. In psychology, this is midlife crisis. It is the ending of a stage. Your ego is at its height. It is the confidence of knowing what it knows, certain of its place in the world. You have inched your way up to planned success, but every moment of triumph is followed by more fear. Soon you feel detached from you. As you continue to fight, the carpet you stand on gets pulled away. The panic creates havoc in the body, as if the body too is ringing the bells of alarm. You may be in your 20s, but already dissatisfied with life. You may be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you think it's too late. You have given your all amidst a longing in this dimming fire within that asks, is this it? Just as the midlife crisis is a change from chaos to balance, the world is going through a transformation towards balance. We have always looked outside for answers, happiness, prestige, and security. But huge companies nowadays have already folded. Powerful institutions are cracking. We are seeing that worldly success is unstable. With a pandemic, everything that does not serve the human being is being destroyed. It has brought out fear, but also compassion. To be safe, all it requires from each one is to befriend aloneness, to turn the focus inside. This is why Scripture says, the kingdom is within. When you find the kingdom, everything else will be added unto you. Everything that you have lost will return to you renewed. For in this kingdom is balance, where you know independence, peace, love, joy, and abundance. In this day and age, many will find this kingdom. When it is your time that you are called, The choice is still yours. Are you coming or not? God cannot intervene without permission. He gave each one of us free will. He cannot contradict himself. First, you give it unconsciously until it emerges as a decision. Thus, ask and you will receive. We make it hard because of pride, but the key is in your hands. The key is what is called submission or surrender. All religions have rituals about submission to God. The real submission is not a ritual. It is when you stop suppressing your emotions and controlling the moments of your life. It is when you stop fighting your intuition, when you are able to say, I surrender, Lord. I ask for the grace of complete trust in you. I do not want to be a hindrance to your will for me. So what to do when you're already cold? It is not complicated. Just 3 things. First, rest the mind, rejuvenate the body, and dream again. Rest the mind. Find a place that you can be alone. Read, not study, the Bible every day. If you can, at least 1 chapter a day. Set aside a period of meditation and prayer. All this time, it's between you and God. On the outside, for the rest of the day, have a project that you can do alone that keeps you motivated. Then use the internet as a resource and divine providence as a channel. Spirit will use it to give you the support you need. You are never alone. Start a journal. Take a few minutes each day to pour out your thoughts and feelings about yourself, others. It may be an idea or a striking incident. It unburdens you of information and emotions so that your mind gets rested by the worries. When you read it again later, it is like looking at a mirror. You can see it objectively. So write as you think or speak. Do not worry about construction. In writing freely, you are also creating a channel for your intuition to give more in terms of guidance coming out in words. Rejuvenate the body. Eat only when you are hungry. Drink a lot of water, healthy liquids, and exercise every day. Move your muscles. No need for strenuous gym exercises. At home, you can do that. And then dream again. You can use a vision board for this. A vision board is a dream in art form. In creating a vision board, you are making an intention necessary for the next stage in your soul evolution. You will become what you visualize. Your talent, passion, and longing will bring you there. No need to rush. It will have its time. The point is to feel its energy now. Because like energies attract, it will come. The seed you sow, you will reap. This vision board may be in digital form or on an illustration board with pictures that represent your heart's desire. Not the ego. We're not talking ambition. We're talking longing. Organize them as a storyboard if you can, if you like, or in any creative way if you wish. Take your time to savor the feelings as you admire it just by looking at it and experience that life in your mind. I share with you my experience about Bible reading and the vision board. I have placed my vision board on my desk in front of me. One day, I was looking at it, gazing at the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus on the middle. And then I found myself asking, who are you, Lord? I never posed that question before. I just took what I learned from others and my assumptions. Opening the Bible, I started reading the chapter for the day. At the very end of the passage was the statement, and I quote, "Then everyone on earth will recognize that you are the Lord, the God of the ages." It was Sirach 36:17. Immediately, I realized it was the answer to my question. Aha, the one communicating with me is the God of all ages. The same God who spoke with Abraham, Moses, and all the prophets in history has been walking with me all this time. I remember those years of praying as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, and then now. And 7 days later, I came across a YouTube video with a line in Matthew that said, "I am with you always at the end of the ages." There it is again, a confirmation. Why is this stage so important? In fact, it is in the Sermon on the Mount. This passage is the promise of this difficult but necessary stage in human development. In some Bibles, it may even be entitled True Happiness. It says, "Happy are those who know they are spiritually poor. The kingdom of heaven belongs to them." End of quote. Your longing for the divine will lead you there. Thus the call to go within. And then it continues, "Happy are those who mourn. God will comfort them." End of quote. When the most significant person in our life dies, usually part of us dies. We're in a pit and nobody can get out of it except when you are open to divine intervention. The next line is, "Happy are those who are humble. They will receive what God has promised." End of quote. This speaks of the surrender, the submission that we were talking about. We can only surrender when we become humble. It's a very humbling state. But the most, you feel relieved because suddenly the burden is no longer there. You have someone to share it with you. You're offering it to God. The next line says, "Happy are those whose greatest desire is to do what God requires. God will satisfy them." What God requires is healing, because that's what we need. This is when this line speaks of the desire to be healed. Once you desire it, you will find it. You will find healing, and we will be satisfied. The next line says, "Happy are those who are merciful to others. God will be merciful to them." This speaks about the experience of forgiveness. You forgive others, and you forgive yourself. Knowing and experiencing God's mercy. The next line says, "Happy are the pure in heart. They will see God." End of quote. Their experience of healing and forgiveness purifies. In this state, you are aligning to the energy of God that is pure. So that's why we're able to experience God. With new eyes, you can recognize God in you, in others, and in all things. The next line says, "Happy are those who work for peace. God will call them His children." End of quote. Peace starts within. So the inner work is the work for peace. When you feel protected by the Father. Fear dissipates. There is no need to fight others for your right to exist in peace. You have it in you, and you will be led to a place that will mirror that. The next line says, happy are those who are persecuted because they do what God requires. The kingdom of heaven belongs to them. End of quote. At this stage, people will think you are weird. You are maligned and mistreated. But you recognize that even these are just mirrors to help you see the emotions inside you that need to be released to make the inner peace and joy a more constant state. The next line is, happy are you when people insult you and persecute you and tell all kinds of evil lies against you because you are my followers. Be happy and glad, for a great reward is kept for you in heaven. This is how the prophets who lived before you were persecuted. End of quote. Heaven is not out there that you experience after you die physically. It is here on earth. Hell is here on earth too. Each one creates their own heaven and hell on earth. When you have healed, you feel the sacred love inside. The ones who harbor hatred, envy, and anger are repelled by your peace. They provoke you, so you will be as angry as they are. But you are no longer in that space. That is the reward of the kingdom within. To end this podcast, I'd like to share with you a poem that speaks about wholeness. It came to me after meditation, when I have had experiences of healing, and when I sat down, I felt heat all over my body, and these words came out. It just flowed. It's as if something in me was speaking, and it says, I am so happy, happy as can be. When you smile, my heart warms. In your embrace, take my hand, we fly by night to see the sunlight in another world. You're overwhelmed, I know you are, to see grandeur in all expanse. When you are small, I watched you play, laughing with you in your gay. I laughed, I touched your face as your playmate did. It was me, you see. Here we are with no more secrets. You know me as I know you. We are one, you and I. Let's bask in this beautiful world. I thank you as you thank me, for I am in you as you are in me. It is all that's ever been.